taking the victory lap here with our boy Big T. Massive takedown PGA last night. Shipped the Millie.
The Twins got the job done for our boy Hoop. Won him $100K. Won him a live final seat.
JSU shipped $200K on, I think, just $1,000 worth of entries. He had a monster night.
Anytime we see members crush like this, we're excited.
Last night, one of our most loyal subscribers from the beginning, Jay Love, took down $20K.
I want to give a shout out to Redmen, who won over $50,000 on opening day.
Blind Bandit took down the $100,000 top prize.
We had someone win a live final seat.
It was one of those days where it's like going 5x or 10x on your money. It wasn't enough to get enough love in the Discord.
Record 62 took down the Millie Maker.
I don't even know if this heater is ever going to end.
Some of these other sites are just boring you to death.
I like how other sites nickel and dime you for every penny they can get.
Tons of the members have given tickets and membership on their own. Like, we're not telling them to do that. They're just doing it for good mojo.
You love to see it. We love the good mojo. And
the mojo is what the mojo is. I give you credit for still having that happen. We appreciate it.
Wait till we ship tonight. I might never take it off.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday Swing for the Fences show. And today's the big day, the $2,500 on DraftKings, $1 million up top. We've been talking about it a little bit yesterday. Finally came. I mean, I'm looking at the lobby and I see a bunch of Run Pure Sports logos. A lot of people won tickets to the satellites, including yesterday. I saw Mangone got a ticket. Our boy Tambo got a ticket. Big T got another ticket. I see Hoop, you got a couple entries in there. So big slate, 14 games Tuesday, big prize pools. Excited to break it all down with my boys Hoop and Gary. Gary, I'll go over to you first. This is our first show together. I'm excited to talk to you. I know you're very knowledgeable at baseball, always in the MLB Discord. How you doing today on this Tuesday? And what are your first thoughts on this slate?
Good, man. Got a lot of pitching is definitely very interesting today. Up at the top, I think Giolito is probably my clear favorite guy, but we'll get into it a little bit. And I think there's some clear low-owned major stacks that possibly hit later on in the night that we'll touch on too. So I think it's shaping up to be a good night.
And one of those, I'm curious, your Braves are on the slate. They are the late game. I'm excited to hear your takes on them. You're always loving your Braves. See Holden in chat. He said NFL in 9 days. Cannot wait for that. Jay Reed in chat, Spencer, Adam, Joey Work. Thanks, boys, for hanging out with us. And yeah, NFL in 9 days, the promo code RPS NFL 15. It's going to be ending in approximately 9 days. I don't know the exact date, but very, very shortly. RPS NFL 15, 15% off your life subscription. And I mean, I can't wait. We're going to have content, I think, Monday through Sunday, every single day. Showdowns, Mondays, Thursdays, Sunday nights. Big T absolutely crushes showdowns. We'll have playbooks and everything for that. I just cannot wait. Hoop, I know you're excited too, but we have this baseball slate as well. You can talk a little bit about football, a little bit about this baseball slate. Just how are you doing on this Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, super excited, obviously, for NFL to start. I think, the product, like I always talk about, it's going to be pretty similar to what we had last year, but with some improvements. We're going to have a show every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. Some will be free, some will be premium. The playbook is going to look a little different. We're going to have the cash chart this year, which we really didn't have, I don't think, for NFL last year. We're going to have some more articles up on the website and all the others, the core plays, the slate breakdowns. Like I said, it's, all these other sites are going to give you the projections and, the ownership and all that crap. We'll give you the winners. That promo code, like you said, RPS NFL 15. It's only going to go through this week, and that 50. We're going to have something similar next week, but the number is going to be a hell of a lot lower. It's not going to be 15% off for life. So if you want to get in at 15% off for life, like I said, that sticks with you month to month as long as you don't cancel your package. You're only going to have a few more days. We'll have something a little bit different. next week. So running out of days to get in with that promo code. In terms of the baseball slate, yeah, I mean, they got the big thing on DraftKings. I've kind of been focusing more on FanDuel a little bit, but I'm going to switch over to DK today and take a look and try to take down this Millie. And it's a good slate for it. I mean, we have a ton of pitching options. I think it's very clear which pitching options are going to be the most popular. And then a lot of offenses. And again, at the offenses, in terms of stacking, I think there's a couple offenses that are going to be very, very popular. And the rest, I think, are going to come in relatively low owned. So it's a great slate for a big GPP. And I really hope at the end of the night, obviously, I'm hoping that it's Hoop 2410 at the top. But if not, any other RPS member will do. That's who I'll be rooting for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw W Nuts in chat said great calls yesterday, guys. Yeah, I mean, Big T's core absolutely crushed. I saw a lot of members, a lot of Run Pure Sports names up top, and Big T was going to be on this free show, but hey, he gave out too many winners yesterday. JSU called them up to the big leagues, called them up to the premium shows. So make sure to catch him, JSU, and Holden breaking down this slate, going up to lock. If you haven't signed up, RPS NFL 15, you aren't going to want to miss their thoughts on this slate. I know JSU has a lot of bullets in the Millie Maker, in the Millie Maker. Big T's got some bullets in the Millie Maker. See what routes, see what pass they're going to. And speaking of yesterday, we had a couple big screenshots. There's only two that we're going to point out, but I saw a lot in Discord. Slick Derula, he's back. We shouted him out, I think, a couple days ago. $2,000, second place in the rally on FanDuel, 235 points. What a great score. Congrats to you. And then Dante, he signed up last week, $199 into $15,000, won the $121 single entry, won the $44. Absolutely awesome screenshot. And those are the screenshots I love to see. Single bullets, 2 tournaments, same lineup, and just absolutely shipped it all. Congrats to you. It was a 5-3 Arizona stack, I believe. But we talked about Arizona on slate, very low owned. He went with Alexi. He went with Robbie Ray, the pitchers we talked about, and just absolutely smashed. Another one I saw on Twitter, Hicksy, Hoopin, Glock, and them. You guys met him at the live final. He signed up for Run Pure Sports recently. Uses the content, does his own stuff. Very successful DFS player, but he took third in the Monster yesterday. I believe it was 15,000 on FanDuel. So congrats to you as well.
Hicksy was live at that live final too. He was in, I believe, top 5 right at the end. Just need a little push from the Cardinals. I think they ended up going 1, 2, 3. But super nice dude. Like, had a lot of fun hanging out with him. So yeah, definitely congratulations. Third place for 15K. Love to see it.
Yep, definitely love to see it. Hoop, I was looking for your name up there. Give Hicksy a day out there. You're saving it for today on DraftKings.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I was right there again last night. I had a ton of Vlad, which was, he was highly owned, but I think I made like 12 teams. I think 8 of them cashed. Nothing big, made a little bit of money, but we talked about it and just right there again. So I'm hoping that carries over tonight for sure. But congratulations to Hicksy for sure.
Yep, absolutely. We'll dive right into this slate, 14 games, and we talk about the pitching up top. Hoop, you said there's 2 pretty much clear pitchers that I think are going to get the most ownership. That's Lucas Giolito at 8.8K and Blake Snell at 7.7K. There's 6 real life good pitchers in my opinion that are a tier above their own. Walker Buehler, Lance McCullers, Brandon Woodruff, Charlie Morton, Giolito, and Blake Snell. And just the cheapest ones. Giolito, 8.8K, gets the best matchup against Pittsburgh. And then Blake Snell, he's been really good this past month. Strikeouts are way up, and he gets Arizona now in a pitcher's park. 7.7K is just way too cheap. So we'll stick in the top tier with those 2 being the clear top 2 guys. Gary, how are you going to approach tournaments? Are you going to eat some of that chalk? What are your thoughts on Snell? And then do you want to pivot to Buehler, Woodruff, any of those guys? Break it down for us.
All right. So Blake Snell, I never get this guy right. I don't think I've played him as chalk all year. He's coming off of a massive, 8+ inning performance, 122 pitches. He did get an extra day of rest. His stuff has been looking a lot better recently. I noticed he cut out his changeup and he's starting to throw a slider a little bit more, which has coincided with better performances, but it's also coincided with a lot harder hit balls going against him. And I know his batted balls in play the last 2 games under 200 there. So I don't really like that trend. I haven't played Blake Snell as chalk all year, and I don't think I'm going to start tonight. But Lucas Giolito for me is my clear top guy. I do actually like Walker Buehler. I think he's the front runner for the Cy Young Award winner. And, you know, it's against my Braves, but we all know the Braves can strike out with the best of them. So I don't mind him. I think he'll be a little lower owned than the rest of these guys. And also Woodruff. I'm probably not going to go with Woodruff, but, you know, he's got to be in play too. So I think my favorites up here are definitely Lucas Giolito and Walker Buehler.
Yeah. For Blake Snell, I'm with you in tournaments today. I mean, he's definitely going to be the most popular guy because of that price. And I mean, Arizona's been pesky against left-handers a little bit. And I'm not just going to play. I mean, with, like you mentioned, we have Walker Buehler, Woodruff, McCullers, Morton. I mean, Morton's been very, very good. In the past 2 months, his strikeouts, he's had a game with 5 strikeouts and 6 strikeouts. But other than that, he's been 7 through 9 in strikeouts. But he gets the Dodgers. So I can't go to Morton today. I'm crossing him off. But I mean, he struck out 9 Yankees last time out. I don't blame anyone if they want to go there. But McCullers, Buehler, and Woodruff, I think I'm with you in Buehler as the tournament pivot. He is the most expensive at 10.5, whereas Woodruff is 9.4. So I expect him to be lower owned there. I can't play Blake Snell chalk on a slate on a 14-game slate. I'd rather attack him and get more leverage that way for bats. So I'm with you there. Cash games, I think Giolito and Snell, the clear top pairing. Hoop, I'll go over to you. How do you see pitchers? Are you going to eat some of the chalk, or how do you see the top tier? Who's your favorite pivot?
Yeah, so I mean, up at this, 8.5K and above, like Giolito is clearly going to be the most popular and really tough spot to fade him in. At home here against Pittsburgh, he's been very steady as of late. Coming off some tougher matchups too. The Yankees, Tampa Bay, who I think is a good offense, Toronto. Now finally he gets a home matchup with Pittsburgh. Big K upside here, so definitely like him. But he is going to be the most popular. The 2 guys I would look to potentially pivot to or play as like an SP2 would definitely be Buehler or Woodruff. I think they're both good pivots. Ownership, on a normal slate, we'd see these guys with really high ownership, but we have 2 guys that are just really mispriced in Giolito and Blake Snell. I mean, the prices are wrong on those 2 guys. So we're going to be able to play some of these dudes at the top, like Buehler and Woodruff. And even if you like McCullers too, at, way lower ownership than they typically would be at. I like Giolito. I'm definitely not fading him, but, I will have some exposure to these other guys. In terms of Blake Snell, in tournaments, I think I'm still going to be on him here. I mean, we've seen some really nice ceiling games out of him. One is against this Arizona team. He went out and had 13 strikeouts against them at the beginning of the month. I'm just down to pick on some of these dead, crappy teams, and the Diamondbacks kind of fit into that category for me. The one thing I think that is somewhat unfortunate, they did pitch the 120 pitches last time out. There's no way that they're going to let him go super, super deep into the pitch count again today. But you're getting the price discount at 7.7K. So I won't fade him. I definitely will play him in cash games, like you said. I think the clear pairing is Giolito and Snell. But you can make a case for a lot of these guys at the top, and outside of Giolito and Snell, I think you're gonna be able to get the guys at low ownership.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at the rest of the tier, that's why I'm pretty much just gonna play those 5 actually, since I'm not even gonna touch more. And after that, it gets pretty gross. I see someone in chat asking, what about Ty? What are your thoughts on Tyon? Would you take a chance on him? There's also Ryu going against Baltimore. And then all the way down, I mean, I think I would skip that whole range because like Snell just stands out so much more than those guys in that range. Like Zach Gallen, I think he's a fine real life pitcher, but I mean, I don't like picking on San Diego. I don't think the upside's there on this slate. Jordan Lyles, Jacob Junis, if you want to go all the way down for punts, 5.1K, 5.2K. I don't love that. I definitely don't love playing Jordan Lyles. I've hardly done it this year, but Pitchers Park, Colorado, if you want to fully punt and pay up for bats, I think you can, but I'm pretty much only going to play those 5. Gary, is there anyone catching your eye? And then someone in chat asked about Tyon, so give your thoughts about him as well.
Yeah, I'm never a Tyon guy either, so I won't be playing him, but I do like Tariq Skubal quite a bit here against Oakland. I mean, his stuff has just been fantastic recently. I mean, he's up. I think he has the highest strikeout rate on the slate over the last month or so, and he's only walking about 3% of batters. He's in a tough matchup here against Oakland, and he also, you know, has kind of a bad ump too. But I'm not weighing that too far. But he does have the upside here to strike out 8 or 9 guys. So in this range down here, I don't see anybody like you. I'm going to stick up top and mix in some Scooble down here.
All right. Yep. Absolutely. So that's one guy. I mean, yeah, you can't make a case. Like I said, you made a case for one more guy than I really can. Hoop, Scooble, anyone else down there? Full punt. Do you have one? I mean, nothing pops out like Alexi or any of that yesterday. So what are your thoughts down below? Usually you're like me and just stick into the top. But what do you see today?
I mean, I typically run a tight core, a pitcher, and it's going to be the same case tonight. I mean, the problem I have going down here tonight is the fact that we have so many guys that can have these explosive pitching performances. There's, 5 or 6 guys that we already talked about that their ceiling is probably in the 30s tonight. So when you're coming down here, you're just kind of hoping to get by at pitcher. And I don't think this is the night where you're hoping to get by. And some nights are. Some nights we're just looking for, 13, 14 fantasy points from our pitcher. Tonight is not the night. Now, to make the case for a couple of these guys, to add on, I agree with Scooble. Trevor Williams getting the start against the Marlins. I mean, we like picking on the Marlins offense. Interesting play. Cabrera on the other side for the Marlins at 6.4K. Could maybe go there, but for the most part, I'm going to be focused on those big boys that we already talked about. Scooble, I think, has the upside to potentially win some tournaments too, but just really hard to make the case for these guys down here that they have the upside that you're going to need to win a GPP tonight. So I'll be focused mostly on the 5 or 6 guys that we talked about, above Snell or Scooble and above outside.
Yeah, I see Steve Boynton, our boy Steve Boynton, talking about Cabrera in the chat. I mean, yeah, I 6.4K. Everyone, he wasn't chalk, but he was definitely had some ownership his last time out. Minor leagues, his numbers are absolutely insane as strikeouts. He only struck out 2 though against Washington last time. I think I'm just going to believe in the long-term numbers, so I don't mind if you want to take a shot on Cabrera. Hope he gets the strikeouts this time around against the Mets, Pitchers Park. So I don't mind Cabrera. Steve Boynton likes Cabrera down there, but I'll go to you, Gary. We'll wrap up pitching. Rank your top 3 pitchers for tournaments, since we know the clear cash guys. Who are your top 3 in tournaments today?
Probably Giolito, Scooble, and then Buehler.
Giolito, Scooble. All right. Yep. For me, I'm gonna say Giolito. I'd rather pick on Snell today, so I'm gonna go Giolito, Buehler, and then I'm going to say Brandon Woodruff. Yesterday I was off Corbin Burns a little bit. I still probably won't get to too much. And I don't play too many tournament lineups, so probably won't get to too much Woodruff. But I mean, Corbin Burns absolutely put on performance. Sometimes you got to go talent on a slate like this. But the Giants, I definitely don't like picking on them. Top 3 pitchers for tournaments today.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be the chalky route, but Giolito, Snell, and then I agree with Buehler. Buehler would definitely be my 3rd guy.
Yeah, I mean, we can always get different on bats. We talk about that a lot. Buehler's the most expensive on DraftKings, so I think his ownership is down a little bit. We'll head over to bats, though. Definitely a lot of good bats, 14 games on the slate. 3 teams stand out based on their totals, I think, going to get the most ownership. Toronto, again, has a implied total above 6. The White Sox have an implied total at 6, and then the Yankees are sitting at 5.6. So just keep that in mind when we go through these. I think those are the clear top 3 teams based on ownership wise. We'll start in this first game, though. Philly and Washington. 2 lefties on the mound. I do like to pick on a little bit. Patrick Corbin, Matt Moore, 2 guys past their prime. Patrick Corbin last time, he was 50% owned in cash games on FanDuel. I got away from that. I thought that was one of the easier pivots. Granted, Kikuchi, he blew up in the 6 for me and didn't do too much better, but I'm going right back and picking on Corbin. I don't think he's very good anymore. And this lineup, I mean, Andrew McCutcheon's 3.7K. Freddie Galvis is in the leadoff hole, 3.3K. Bryce Harper, lefty. I'm definitely not scared to play him. Bryce Harper's been super hot. I like going lefty. His ownership will be down. I like this Philly team for sure. And then going to Washington, I'm not scared of Matt Moore. I think you can go to Soto, lefty as well. But Josh Bell with the platoon advantage, 4.4K. Then they're just so cheap. We don't have the lineup yet, but Lane Thomas has been betting leadoff 2.5K, Robles 2.6K, Keyboom 2.3K. These guys are so cheap, and they hit Wheeler around a little bit yesterday. So I like this game for GPPs. Hoop, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this game, right out of the gate, and I don't think ownership will be all that high. I think Patrick Corbin has kind of just turned into a guy that if you're MMEing, you stack against him every single time he pitches, because when it's off, I mean, he gets just blown up. Like this lineup here that the Phillies rolled out, so I think that the Phillies are definitely a strong offense to look to, and they're definitely, in terms of ownership, way below those three that you mentioned in the opening. And then on the national side, I mean, I like going against Matt Moore as well. I mean, we don't have the lineup yet for the Nationals, but there's going to be some cheap guys. There's no doubt about it that we're going to be able to play. So pairing these guys, these offenses, especially the national side with some of the big boy offenses, is going to open up a lot for you. So love both offenses. Definitely more on the Phillies, I think, than the Nationals, but both clearly in play for me here tonight.
Yep, definitely agree. And someone in chat said, don't forget to mention the weather. This is the one weather game. There is some possibility of, it looks like maybe a small possibility.
I think it's improved quite a bit. Like, I know there was concerns early, but it looks much better now.
Yeah, I saw a small chance of delay. I still don't, like, people were saying that yesterday too. I don't think there's a risk to, I mean, if anything, it would be for the pitchers. I still, if you for some reason do want Corbin or more, I still think you get away with it. We'll be in Discord breaking down, but hitters, I wouldn't fade it at all. We do know it is Washington though. Gary, what are your thoughts on the bats on this slate or on this, in this game?
Yeah, I think they're both viable here. I'm playing little bit more on FanDuel tonight, and these Philly bats are just incredibly cheap. I can fit a high price stack with a high price pitcher and still get in 3 or 4 of these guys. So, I mean, you got Andrew McCutchen sitting at 2.7K on FanDuel. Galvis is 2.2K. I mean, then you got Bonifacio, who's, he's not going to get you much, but he's min price. So, and Segura, who's kind of been on it, kind of been hitting a little bit decent recently, only 3.2K. So I'm definitely more on the Philly side here. But yeah, I like this game for offense for sure.
Yep, 3 for 3. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to this game in tournaments. They are cheap on both sites, and you can mix them with some of the upper guys. And if you're going up at pitcher, I think it makes a lot of sense. We'll go over to the next game, Baltimore and Toronto. Toronto finally gets back on track yesterday. Big Vlad, 2 bombs, absolutely rockets out there. Helped me in cash for sure on FanDuel. He was only like 30% or something. Now gets the lefty and Keegan Aiken, who, I mean, he had an okay performance, pretty good performance last time out, but nothing I'm scared about with Keegan Aiken. Another bad bullpen behind him. It's Toronto, this lineup stacked top to bottom. Baltimore, they're definitely going to be very low owned against Ryu. I don't have much interest there. I can get to lower spots on this slate. But Gary, I'll go right over to you. How do you look at Toronto? And you're going to be eating some of the chalk? You're going to be playing the top bats? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm off Toronto here. They've just, I know they kind of exploded a little bit yesterday. Simeon probably should have had about 20 more fantasy points than he did. He kept on hitting the ball to the warning track. But I think I'm going to go elsewhere to a later offense here and just stay away here and hoping that, Toronto still doesn't have their stuff together here. So, and I'm definitely not playing any Baltimore bats here.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it yesterday on with BigT. I mean, he was off, he was off Toronto for, the reasons being they're, kind of cold. A home matchup against the Orioles pitching staff can definitely get you on the right track. And that's kind of what we saw yesterday. I want bats against the Orioles pitching staff. And yeah, they are going to be pretty highly owned, but there's different things you can do. I mean, like guys towards the bottom, like if Gary L's in there at 4K, like no one's going to play him, start your stack with him. Even dude like Kevin Smith, if he's in there, super cheap. So a lot of different ways you can stack up this team. Yeah. If you go, Springer, Semien, Vlad, Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, like you're probably not going to win anything because everyone's going to be doing that. So like we always say with these popular teams, make sure you're getting unique, and kind of, do different things that your opponents won't do.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good Kevin Smith. Like I played him yesterday too in cash on FanDuel, just because sometimes you can, in baseball, you can play a really cheap guy in a good offense. A 0 will never kill you, but especially on DraftKings, third base eligible. Third base isn't always the strongest. Today there's some options, but I think that's a good call. And then, yeah, they got Springer back in the lineup yesterday, and that makes their lineup so much better. I mean, he swiped a bag yesterday, just brings so much of their offense. So I expect Toronto to heat up a little bit. We'll see if it is today, though. Going over the next game, it's going to be a quick one. It's the 7-inning game, Miami and the Mets. I know this is where we did bring up Cabrera a little bit, but on offense, I don't play these 7-inning games. FanDuel, they don't even have it on the slate, but I assume it's a pass for you both. Who you want any action in this 7-inning? Nope.
No, sir.
Gary, same as you. Yep, easy move on game. I agree. Going over to the next one, Boston and Tampa. Yarbrough and Peacock on the mound. Another game where it doesn't really stand out too much to me. Yair, I don't know how to pronounce this. Yairo Munoz, he's supposed to be batting leadoff. Min price 2K against Yarbrough. We don't have that lineup out yet, but if he is on the lineup, min price batting leadoff, you always have some ownership there, and I wouldn't mind it. Other than that, though, I don't want to pay up for some of these big bats, which a lot of these guys are priced highly on this team with the studs on a slate like this with better spots. So I don't have too much interest in this pitcher's park. Hoop, I'll go over to you. Do you have any interest?
I have some interest in the Rays side, going against Peacock, and I guess it's probably more like a bullpen game. But some of these prices are, I think, pretty fair. Like Randy Arozarena at 4.3K, Joey Wendell, even Austin Meadows at 4.6. I think you can get some decent price tags here. Not a great ballpark for hitting, like you said, but I think you can get some value. Even like Kevin Kiermaier batting 8th, only 2.2K. I'm with you though. I'm not going to pay like the premium price tags like Nelson Cruz. I'm not going to pay the 5.6, but some of these other guys I definitely will take a look at. It's just a strong lineup from top to bottom. So give me some Rays for sure at some pretty low ownership.
Yep. Looking at the likes, we have 445 watching, 121 likes. Haven't even mentioned it yet, but we can definitely do a little better than that. Big Tuesday slate, breaking down a big slate. Gary on the show, hit those like button, hit the subscribe button for us, please. If you're not a subscriber, RPS NFL 15% off your life subscription. Big T on the premium show. You're not going to want to miss out. He's back to being hot. I know Nicky Diesel doesn't think so, but his core was absolutely fire. See how he's attacking this slate today. Then if you haven't got on Underdog, I've absolutely been loving Underdog. I maxed out all my drafts, but use the promo code RUNPEER on Underdog for $25 deposit bonus. It'll get you a free entry into the Millie Maker or 5 puppy balls. A lot of fun over there. We just dropped Simon, Bobby Gomes, Snyder dropped a run best ball video yesterday. And Snyder even predicted, he said Mac Jones is going to be the starter instead of Cam yesterday, even before the news dropped. So you can get those tidbits, get your ADP, get some value before the news does come out. Process Snyder on the good call. They've been grinding it all year. So make sure to use the promo code RUNPEER. Gary, I'll go over to you in this game, Boston and Tampa. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so
and how do you pronounce? I know you're good at pronouncing names. Is it Yairo? Yairo Munoz. How do you pronounce that name too?
I think it's Yaro.
Yaro. All right.
So I want to like the bat for this game, but I do prefer the Tampa side for one. I want to like Boston because they have hit Yarbrough pretty good this year and overall. They're just too expensive. I guess I wouldn't mind the cheapies, the Munoz, the Dahlbecks, the Vasquez. Even Vasquez has hit Yarbrough pretty well, and maybe Verdugo. So if I had interest at all in Boston, it'd be the cheaper guys. And like Hoop said on Tampa Bay, this Boston bullpen is not very good. They just signed, I guess, Peacock off the street. So they're all in play. They're all appropriately priced, maybe a little bit underpriced here. So I'm definitely side more on the Tampa Bay side. But again, I do like the cheapies for Boston.
Before we go to the next game, I'm sorry, Simon. I thought I said Simon predicted it. I guess I said Snyder. Simon gets the credit. He said Mac Jones was going to start. Sorry, Simon. It wasn't Snyder, but Snyder, you've had some good takes as well. We'll go to this next game, Oakland and Detroit. I'll go right over to you, Gary, because I know you're not going to have any Oakland since you do like Scooble, but any interest in Detroit? We got a couple cheap bats. Derek Hill's 2.7K leading off. Miguel Cabrera in the 4-hole 3K. Robbie Grossman's 4.2K in the 3-hole. So a couple of cheap bats if you want at the top of the order. And I know you're not going to Oakland.
Yeah, I'm not playing bats in this game. I just don't generally. Detroit's kind of gone downhill a little bit, and I think I'm just going to stay away here.
Hoop, what are your thoughts? We have a 9 total, 4.5 implied total for both offenses. They're going to be low owned. Any interest in this game?
No, I mean, maybe like one-off plays, like if you want to play Eric Haas at catcher, he has obviously some upside. Just, I look at this lineup from Detroit. It's just not easy to stack. Got Miguel Cabrera batting fourth. It's just a pretty shitty lineup overall. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely be off of this game.
Yep. Before I go to the next game, JT Hayes, our boy in chat, he said, "Where are the likes, people? Huge tourneys tonight. Hit that like. Always love seeing JT in here. And yeah, I want to see I always look at his cores, see his pitching takes, another very sharp mind, another reason to get in the MLB Discord. And yeah, we can get more likes than that. When I said it, we got some more likes, so appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Beautiful Tuesday afternoon, great slate, time to win a milli for someone at RPS. So bring the good mojo and start it off. We'll go to the next game, Colorado and Texas, a game we were on yesterday, and it's going to be low owned again. Gomber and Lyles. I'm more interested. I know I did talk about Jordan Lyles a little bit if you wanted a full punt, even though I won't get there mainly, but Jordan Lyles still isn't a very good pitcher. He's not a good pitcher at all. And there's power. Trevor Story, 5.7K, CJ Cron, 5.5, Blackman, 5.7. We talked about it with how expensive these Colorado bats are yesterday for no reason at all. Like they're in Coors, which keeps their ownership down at 1%, 2%. Trevor Story double donged yesterday, and some of them got there. I think going back to Colorado in tournaments makes a lot of sense. Guaranteed ninth in at bats. No one's playing up for the prices. So I like going right back to the well. Hoop, what are your thoughts on Colorado and Texas?
Yeah, similar cases as yesterday. I mean, for some reason, I don't know if they think like Colorado's in Coors or something, but I mean, they got these guys with some big boy price tags, and no one's going to play them. I mean, you got Blackman at 5.7, Story 5.7, CJ Cron 5.5. I mean, that's going to keep their ownership low in a good spot. And this is a type of situation that could win someone $1 million tonight. Overpaying for a mid-grade offense. But, this all, you look at the individual names, there is some upside with these guys too. So definitely like Colorado in tournaments today against Jordan Lyles. And then I don't hate some of these bats for Colorado. Like Gomber has kind of cooled off a little bit. I mean, he was pretty steady, a couple months ago. The last few, it's been pretty rough. You get some cheap guys here. Yanni Hernandez leading off at 2.7. Our boy Adalis Garcia 3.5. DJ Peters 2.4. Solak 2.4 hit a bomb last night. So you're getting really, really cheap bats here in Texas. So I have some interest actually in both sides here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Texas has been quietly hitting as of late. They got to Marquez yesterday, and they're cheap all around. So if you're paying up a pitcher, you want some of the big bats, I don't mind a mini stack either. Gary, how do you see Colorado and Texas?
Yeah, I wasn't on Colorado yesterday just for the prices. Trevor Story double donged on me, so I don't think I'm going back there today. I do like Texas quite a bit here. They're extremely cheap. You can fit a full stack in here, full secondary stack with two top-tier pitchers and a top offense. So Nick Solak's on a little heater. He's probably my favorite of the bunch. But yeah, I do. DJ Peters has been hitting some bombs lately. They're really cheap here. And, they're also really cheap on FanDuel. They make for a good, nice secondary 3 or 4 man stack over there with a top-tier pitcher. So as far as the cheap offenses go, Texas is right up there with Philadelphia and Washington for me.
Well, yep, very cheap, can get your top bats, definitely, or top arms, top bats, definitely makes sense. We'll go to the next game, Pittsburgh and the White Sox, and this is definitely going to be one of the games. The White Sox are going to be one of the more popular teams on the slate, a total of 6, going against a bad bullpen in Pittsburgh and Bryce Wilson, who he had a good outing last time against Arizona, 22 DK points, but negative 1.2 before that. I don't think he's still a very good pitcher, backed by a bad bullpen. And this White Sox team is now healthy. Luis Robert stands out with the most. He's in the leadoff hole, 4.2K. That's just way too cheap. But Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu, Grandal at catcher, Mancada, 4.2K. This lineup top to bottom is just absolutely loaded. Definitely have some interest in the White Sox. I think I do like them more than Toronto. And then going to Pittsburgh, I mean, no one's going to be on them. Lowest total on the slate, but none of us are going to be on them as well. So, Gary, I'll go to you. Who are your favorite? Do you have interest in the White Sox, and who are your favorite bats, if so?
Yeah, like you said, I'm right with you. Luis Robert, Jose Abreu has been mashing right-handed pitching lately. It's the usual suspects, Grandal, 5.3. I definitely like this team against, the former Brave and Bryce Wilson, who, just hasn't figured it out. So Definitely on the White Sox here, and I do like them quite a bit here.
Yeah, don't forget. I'm going to say, don't forget Andrew Vaughn too. He's really cheap, 2.6 hole or 2.6K in the 7 hole. He's got power down there too, so I wouldn't leave him out of your White Sox stacks. Who you like the White Sox today?
Yeah, very solid spot here. I think they might actually come in a little higher owned than Toronto just because of the price tags. Like Robert at 4.2, Moncada 4.2, Jimenez under 5K. You get the catcher and Grandal with big upside 5.3. So I think the White Sox have a chance to be the higher owned team. But there's a lot of different things you can do, like Vaughn at 2.6K, Goodwin 3.4K. I don't have a ton of interest in like Garcia or Hernandez batting ninth, but I mean, they're serviceable guys. I mean, you can bank on probably some base hits from them. So strong lineup, top to bottom. Definitely love the White Sox tonight.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you, Gary, because Mangone's the White Sox guy. He's always says Robert, but I listened to the broadcast and they said Robert. So do you know which one it officially is? Because Robert sounds cooler, but the broadcast said Robert. So do you know which one it is?
I just assume Robert.
Yeah,
the Latin names always have that kind of connotation. So I'm gonna go with Robert.
That's what I thought too. It sounds cooler, so we'll go with Robert. But just want names. I know Hoop and I we struggle with pronunciation sometimes in this baseball, so I'm the same way. Wanted to see your opinion, but if anyone in chat knows, I'll be interested. If knows for sure and isn't just guessing, you can throw it in there. I'm curious to know that. We're going over to the next game though. Cleveland and Kansas City. Plesac and Junis on the mound. Two guys that, I mean, they're okay. I don't pick on them too much, but the bats are very, very cheap in this game. Bradley Zimmer's 2.4K. Then you go to the other side. Michael A. Taylor, 2.1K in the 6 hole. Top to bottom, pretty much. Benintendi's cheap. Carlos Santana's cheap. Everyone's pretty much cheap outside of Jose Ramirez, Salvador Perez, who's absolutely been smashing the baseball. So I like him at catcher as a one-off or a game stack or a mini stack. And then Franmil Reyes at 5.4K. But outside of those three, everyone is really cheap in this game. I'll go over to you, Gary. How do you see them in this game? And then compare them to Texas. Since you do like Texas, who's also cheap, how would you rank them? And do you have any interest?
Yeah, so I do have interest in Kansas City too, but mainly the top of the order and maybe some Michael A. Taylor. Nicky Lopez, I mean, he's been on, he doesn't hit very bombs, but he double-digit fantasy points 4 games in a row. He's just getting 2 or 3 hits every game. Whit Merrifield's only 4.4K. I think that's still underpriced here in this matchup. I mean, he can get multiple stolen bags. And then, Salvador Perez, I mean, he leads the league in home runs this month. So I definitely like this team. Probably more as a 3-man, more than a full stack, but I do like Kansas City quite a bit. And I have no interest in Cleveland.
How do you see Kansas City and Cleveland?
Yeah, kind of similarly. Like I have some interest in some of these Royals bats individually. I definitely don't think I'd be willing to stack them like all the way up. But Carlos Santana's 2.7K, Benintendi 3K, Salvador Perez. I think is a great pivot off Grandal. I think Grandal comes in way higher owned. Salvador Perez, same price tag essentially. I think $100 more than Grandal. I think that's a good pivot in tournaments. If I need a cheap shortstop, I'm fine going Nicky Lopez. But yeah, I'm probably more like one-offs, I think, than anything else. And not going to really be on the Indians here.
All right, yeah, I see a lot of different. JT Hayes said Robert, like I know how we're saying it. Someone said Steve said Robert, like it's spelled. A couple different options. I'm gonna look it up. I want to know eventually, but people don't know. I mean, some people saying this, some people saying that. Robert sounds the coolest, so Mangone's the White Sox boy. I'm just gonna go with that. We'll go over to the next game though. Chicago and Minnesota, and I think Minnesota is gonna get some ownership, especially Byron Buxton. That's just a misprice on DraftKings, 3.2K. He's in the 2 hole. They have a 5.2 implied total. Zach Davies isn't very good at all anymore. Backed by a bad bullpen. We talk about attacking teams that don't have anything to play for, and that's obviously the Cubs. So Luis Arias in the 1 hole 3K, Buxton 3.2K, Donaldson 3.9K at third base, Sano 3.6, Rooker 2.7. I mean, you name it, they're cheap down there. Polanco 4.1. The most expensive guy in this lineup, 4.1 on both sides. So I think Minnesota is definitely going to get some ownership. and I do like them against this Cubs team. Hoop, how do you see Minnesota and Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, I'm drawn to some of these price tags. Obviously, Buxton at 3.2 is just a misprice, like you said. But then the rest of the lineup too. I mean, you get the core of this lineup that's projected to score over 5 runs, and they're all, basically 4K and below. Kepler 4.1, Donaldson 3.9, Polanco 4.1, Araz leading off at 3K. You got some upside at the bottom a little bit with Sano and Rucker. So. Yeah, this is an offense that I definitely have interest in. If I'm going to pay up at both my pitcher spots, like this is a good spot to land on and save some sound. It's going again. It's both these teams are done, but the Cubs gave away their entire team. So anytime the Cubs are playing and they're rolling out one of these, mid-grade to bad pitchers, I want the offense going against them. They have nothing to play for. So I do like the Twins tonight.
Yep, I definitely agree with you. And they also have Ben Rortvedt and Andrelton Simmons, both min-price catcher and shortstop. So I think that's, if you want to fully punt someone on an offense, a good offense, like we said, I don't hate doing that at all. Gary, how do you like Minnesota and Chicago?
Yeah, Minnesota's really cheap here. Polanco's 4.1. Donaldson's on a little heater at 3.9. I don't hate them, but I think I like the other cheap offenses a little bit more just for the ownership discount that I'm going to get here. But, I can't fault anybody for playing the Twins here.
Yep. All right. Yeah. We'll go to the next game then. The Yankees and the Angels. Yankees 5.6 implied total. I think they're not going to get too much ownership, I don't think, but some guys like Anthony Rizzo still 3.8K. Don't have the lineup out yet. It's a late game, so the later the lineup comes out, the less ownership it will have. But DJ LeMahieu 3.9K, Gary Sanchez 4.3, Gallo 4.5, Voit if he's in the lineup 3.4. So I think these guys might have some ownership, but I wouldn't be too overly concerned if you do like them. Do you have any interest in the Yankees, Gary? And then you said you didn't like Tyon, so any low-owned Angels bats for you?
Yeah, I think I'm just marking this game off for bats personally. I'm still waiting for my spot coming up here, so I'm not going to have any bats from this game.
Easy enough. I think I might know who it is. I saw Steve Boynton hint at it in chat. I think you guys are in Discord a lot, so I might know who it is. I'm excited to hear. But Hoop, I'll go to you. Yankees or any Angels for low ownership?
Always, Ohtani in tournaments is a one-off for sure. Big T actually called it yesterday on the show with us. Yeah, it was the workbench play of the day. Low ownership, hits the dong off of Andrew Haney, I believe. So. Yep. Always a guy it's tough though because you're paying a premium for the one-off, but the upside is just massive. So Ohtani for sure as a one-off. On the Yankees side, yeah, I like the Yankees. The nice thing here is they're going to roll out probably a pretty strong lineup. Even if we think they're going to be a popular team, it's going to be easy to get unique for the most part. If Odor's in there, 3.2K, he'll be towards the bottom of the lineup. Gary Sanchez will be towards the bottom of the lineup. There's a lot of upside all the way through. Luke Voit, like you said, good price tag at 3.4. So yeah, I definitely like the Yankees here.
And I feel like people the Yankees have definitely let down a lot in the past month. I feel like you don't see a lot of full man 5 Yankee stacks. So I wouldn't worry too much about ownership. 14 games to late. We talked about cheap Minnesota, Toronto, and White Sox. So if you like the Yankees, I definitely would go there. We'll go to the next game, but first, about 500 watching, 200 likes. We can do a little better, but we do appreciate those likes. Picking some winners on this Tuesday. Someone's hopefully hitting a milli or a couple big scores tonight. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We do appreciate it here. Going to the next game, though, we got San Diego and Arizona. And yeah, we talk about Blake Snell chalk. So Arizona is going to come in low own. They got some very, very cheap bats. Ketel Marte had a very good game yesterday. Arizona did ship for our boy Dante over there. So I don't mind going back to them as a leverage stack off of chalk. They have been a little pesky recently. Then San Diego, I think Zach Gallen's a pretty solid pitcher. I do like this lineup, but I'm not going to get to any San Diego on this 14-game slate. Go over to you, Hoop. Any interest in this game?
I'm not going to be on this one. Obviously I like Snell, so I'm not really going to be on Arizona. And Gallen's been pretty good. And, the Padres, they scored a few runs last night, but, mostly have been pretty cold. So I feel good fading this one.
Yep. Going over before I go to Gary, someone in chat said, Title, what do you consider popular on DK single entry? Most have 500, 600 entries. Thanks. In baseball, I say anything that's definitely slate or sport dependent for sure. In baseball, I say 20% plus. If you're 1/5 of the field's playing one team in baseball, I consider that pretty chalky in tournaments. I'm no expert in tournaments though. I do mainly cash games. So Hoop and Gary, if you guys have something to add to that, but my thing, I think 20% is getting pretty chalky in tournaments. Gary, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with the 20% statement, especially on a 14 game slate. If you're approaching 20% on a 14 gamer, then you might want to try to look somewhere else to find some more upside there.
Yeah, slate dependent, of course. If it's a 5-game slate, obviously a little more, but 20% on a slate like this, I think. Hoop, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, baseball's unique in the fact that it's, the most highly variant DFS sport that we have. If guys are going to be popular, yeah, you potentially might want to be looking elsewhere. I'm more so, I don't let that dictate whether I'm on or off a team, though. If I know a team's going to be popular, I try to just get unique with the way I stack it. And then my secondary stack, I want to be a little more kind of off the radar and not as popular. So if you like a team and you think they're going to be popular, I don't think you have to fade them. You just need to do different things to make sure, like I said, like Toronto tonight, if you go in there and you're going to build a Toronto stack and you go Springer, Semien, Vlad, Bo Bichette, and Teoscar Hernandez, your odds of winning a GPP tonight are significantly low, I think, because that's what everyone's going to be doing. And you're talking about the top offense. Same with the White Sox. So you go in there and you play Robert, Moncada, Abreu, Jimenez, Grandal. Everyone that stacks the White Sox is going to be doing that. And you're talking about the two most popular teams on the slate. So, especially in the large field stuff, in some of the smaller field stuff, you can definitely get away with it. But in the large field GPPs that I know most our listeners are playing, you just can't do that and expect to win.
Yeah, like I said, every sport's different. I mean, if you go to football and Dalvin Cook's out and you got Madison stepping in and he's too cheap, he'll be 65%, but maybe even that 65% is too low owned because of, baseball. We always talk about it. You can go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 any day. It's baseball. It's the hardest sport. You go bet 300, you're a Hall of Famer. Football, the running backs. Madison, if Cook's out, he's going to get all the workload. You can project him for 20 plus carries. Giannis, if Giannis is out, Middleton's out. Drew Holiday. Basketball, have the ball in the hand a lot more. 60%. So yeah, baseball, I say 20% is probably a threshold on a slate like today for a single entry. Very good question. We'll go over to the next game, Milwaukee and San Francisco. A low total, kind of a pitcher's park in San Francisco, even though it hasn't mattered for the Giants this year, leading the MLB in home runs. But I'm not really picking on Woodruff. I'm not going to my Brewers today against Quintana on this slate. Easy cross-off game for me. Hoop, how do you see it?
Yeah, I'm not playing anything in this game. Low total, 7.5. I mean, Quintana does suck, but I mean, the Brewers against a lefty, not my favorite spot anyway. So I'll just I'll fade this one.
Gary?
Yep, same for me. No bets for me.
Easy move on game for us. Atlanta and the Dodgers. 2 games left. We have 513 watching, 213 likes. We can at least get 250 likes. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. 250 is not a lot to ask for on this day. Appreciate the likes, but Atlanta and the Dodgers, Morton and Buehler on the mound. So it's a very easy cross-off game for me with these 2 pitchers. Gary, I know you like Buehler. I know you probably want to play your Braves, but I don't think you can do it today. What are your thoughts? Any interest in this game?
Yeah, I'm crossing all the bats off here. I wish I was on here and I was, I could play, we're going to stack the Braves tonight, but that's not going to happen. They probably get a bomb or 2 off of them just because, they have the power upside, but I'm just not, they're expensive. It's great pitcher. I mean, Cy Young, probably front runner at this point. So, and Morton has been, really good. I was actually tempted a little bit to play Morton. I just think, I don't play pitchers against the Dodgers, so I'm not going to start tonight.
Yeah, Dodgers are healthy. I agree. I mean, you can make a case for him. He's been very good low ownership, but I'm not going to get there today as well. And man, you think Buehler over Corbin Burns for the Cy Young right now?
Man, I think it's really close.
Yeah,
I think it's really close.
I hope my guy Corbin Burns does get it, but it definitely has been close. He's been a little worse as of late, but yesterday a good performance. Hope he can edge it out though for my Brewers. We'll go over to you, Hoop. Assume you're going to be off this game totally too, but it's the Dodgers after all. Have a good offense, but I assume it's nothing.
Yeah, it's got to be like the worst spot for bats. I mean, we've been playing Morton almost every start. Obviously, we're not going to be on him here all that much, but tough spot. 7.5 total. Just no thanks.
Yep. Easy move on to, and we're going to the last game, Houston and Seattle. Gary hasn't talked about the stack that he's liked a lot today, and I have a feeling it's going to be Houston against Kikuchi, the lefty. Good offense. It's Houston. Get the guaranteed 9th inning at bats. I'll let you take it away, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, not only has Houston absolutely demolished Kikuchi this season, I mean, for the career too. I mean, they have awesome BVP. We're probably going to get all these guys under 5%. Yuli Gurriel at 5.4 is one of my favorite plays on the slate. Jake Myers, even down at 2.6K, really cheap. He's hitting lefties really well. I can't mention Houston without Kyle Tucker either. So, and then of course, Jordan Alvarez, he leads the league in home runs versus lefties over the last month. So definitely don't leave out Jordan Alvarez in your stack tonight. I love this lineup top to bottom. I mean, literally everybody is in play for me, and I'm going to be way over the field here.
Hoop, how do you see Houston and Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I had moderate interest in Houston just because how bad Kikuchi has been lately. And Kikuchi's kind of turned into a name that, for DFS purposes that people want to play. And I don't see it. Like, I'm sorry. I watched a little bit of him. You look at the results, like he's had some good games, but the good games aren't like great. He's had some really bad games too. Going against this Houston offense, I didn't know about the BVP and how well they've been against him. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with Houston here. And for GPP purposes, you got some big boy price tags on DraftKings, like 6-1 for Altuve, Gurriel 5.4, Alvarez 5.9, Correa 5K. It's going to keep ownership very low on Houston. Combine that with the fact that they got the late game here at 10 p.m. Eastern. Still don't have the lineup. We're looking at a very low-owned Houston offense that has the power to just determine the slate. So yeah, definitely like Houston.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely, extremely low. Not only do we not have a lineup and probably won't for a little bit, but like you said, the prices. Mix that with Toronto being a price sub, White Sox, all that, which people gravitate to. You'll get them extremely low owned. We'll go over to the stacks. 527 watching, 230 likes. We can get a little more likes before the play of the day. Stephen Coy, 20 likes from 250. Let's get there for the RPS fam. I agree with him. Hit the like button, please. 518 watching. We'll go over our 3 favorite stacks, though. I'll go over to you, Gary. I know you got Houston 1, but who are your next 2 favorite stacks on the slate?
Probably the White Sox, and then I call me crazy, but I like the Texas Rangers a lot tonight, so I'm gonna go Texas as my number 3.
Texas Rangers, and that definitely mixes with your Houston call because of the cheap, expensive, they match up perfectly. I'll go to myself top 3 stacks. I like the White Sox. I'm gonna have them over Toronto for sure up top, and then I'm gonna go to the game stack, Philly and the Nationals. I really like that first game. 2 lefties, Matt Moore and Corbin. I don't think they're any good. I like full game stack in that game. So those are my top 3 on the slate. Hoop, what are your top 3?
Yeah, outside of like Toronto and the White Sox, definitely the Phillies Nationals game has my interest for sure. I think we could see a lot of runs there, low ownership. There's some talk about weather, which I think the weather is going to be fine, should lower the ownership in this game a little bit. Then the Rays. I really like the Rays here against Peacock and most likely the Boston bullpen. Strong lineup from top to bottom. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here tonight.
Yep, definitely do agree. We'll get into the plays of the day. I know people have been saying title slow down a little bit. Show's going a little fast. Hey, we're just talking baseball, 14 games. We'll get Big T up to lock with JSU, Holden. They'll be shooting the shit a little bit, but 14 games. We got to dive right into the winners, big prize pools. So, that's why it's going a little fast today. Run the likes up for title. Thank you, Colin. Do appreciate that. Hit the like button for us. We'll go over to the plays of the day, though. And Gary, do you have a name for your play of the day? The Braves.
I don't know.
I know the last time it was the Braves or something. Do you have anything in mind that you'd like it to be?
We can call it the Braves Homer play of the day.
Braves Homer play.
Everybody says I'm a Braves Homer, so.
Hey, I do see the Braves in your cores a lot more than usual, but hey, they have been performing. They have made you some money, I assume. Today you're not on them though, so we'll go with the Braves homer play of the day though. Who do you got for us today?
I'm gonna go really low on and really cheap. Jake Myers is hitting a bomb today for Houston.
Jake Myers, Braves homer play of the day. I like it. I'll go over to myself for the SO play of the day. I'm going to go Josh Bell, 4.4K against Matt Moore. I really just like this game in general. He's hitting a bomb. Matt Moore is no good. So give me Josh Bell as the SO play of the day. Hoop, I'll throw it to you to finish it off. 4X play of the day. Yesterday, I wish it was Bobby Dahlbeck. I even hinted at it a little bit. Of course, He stays hot and goes deep, but it wasn't. It was your 4X play of the day today?
Talked about Dahlbeck yesterday and just how he's treated me well on a little heater, and what do you know, he gets up there and hits a bomb. I know a lot of people listening played him because I got a lot of messages. He's on a little bit of a heater for sure, but the guy I had pegged is same team, batting right behind your boy Josh Bell. Ryan Zimmerman, I think, hits one off of Matt Moore tonight, so we can get that Bell Zimmerman back-to-back in the first inning and just coast the rest of the night.
Absolutely love it. The lefty smasher for a decade, Ryan Zimmerman. Last time it happened too, man. Going I had Potter. I think it was Will Myers and Grisham or something. They went back to back. Hopefully we do that today and run it back. But thanks for hanging out with us today. I know it was a little quicker show, but we just talked baseball. We gave you winners. It's a big slate. We want to make you guys some money today. So good luck, everybody. Someone's going to take home this millie from RPS. Or one of you watching. You guys are a part of RPS. Well, even if you're not a member, we do appreciate you guys hanging out, hitting the like button, bringing good mojo. If you're not a member though and want to be a member, RPS NFL 15% off your monthly subscription for life. Big T's on a heater. JSU's up to lock show. Those two have multiple entrants in the slate, in the big one. So they've been diving in, giving out winners. Make sure to check it out. But for us, we're out of here. Gary, Hoop, myself, Titletown. Good luck, everybody.